Today we are reviewing the Alto Professional Stealth Wireless Speaker System. The first test was on the Scansonia ferryboat downtown Seattle, permanently docked to North Lake Union. And there's my transmitter on top of the speaker. I'm set up on the back east side of the boat. And if you've never been there before, what makes this venue unique is that there's a big wall separating the east and west side. So I was trying to feed a speaker wirelessly on the west side, where dining is going to be taking place. So here we are on the east side, and this is where the dancing will occur later in the evening. And around this corner to the right, you'll see a speaker with the receiver. All in all, it took me a long time to figure out how to get this working the first time. There's a lot of interference down here. Only about half of the 16 channels didn't have some sort of RF interference. So I had to use medium squelch for this particular setting. And I was able to get 97, 98% audio without any dropouts. It did squelch a little bit. There's a separate look. You saw the DJ booth in the back. Here's the receiver. It's not that far, but there was a kitchen in between that I think was the root of why I couldn't get 100% signal lock. However, I was able to get my wireless microphone all around the boat without any issues. Second test is at the Blue Ribbon Cooking Culinary Center, downtown Seattle, East Lake Union. This time I placed a transmitter in this little alcove back here. Here's a closer look. I put it here because it was closer to the receiver as opposed to where the speakers would be. Here I am set up in the corner. This is before everyone got here, before the ceremony. And behind these two curtains right here are the speakers, which would be a bit further away than where the receiver is. So I ran a cord along the floor of that back wall there and fed a signal to the transmitter. And the point of it was to feed a couple speakers back here. As you go around this corner and down this hall, you won't be able to hear the sound of the speakers in the main ballroom anymore, which is why we placed the speaker back here to fill in the void. So that way, no matter where guests are seated during dinner, they can hear toasts and background music. So as we pan back around, you'll see this is the hall that the speaker will fill in the audio void. Then I have that Mackie daisy chained to this speaker here, which will be feeding audio into the bar. And guests will be coming into the bar during the transition of the room. Once after the ceremony for cocktails, and then once for cake cutting as they turn the main ballroom around for dancing. That time, I had about 97% audio lock. Here at the Sanders Mansion, this is the only time where it worked 100% of the time. Here again, we have the receiver on top of the speaker. And we have the speaker placed here today in the outer edge corner of the tent. As we pan around to the right, you'll see this grassy area where cocktails will be taking place later after the ceremony. And then we can face the speaker right here towards the dance floor later in the evening for dancing. No walls. Did you see that as we walk into the tent? That is the only difference between the first two setups and this setup, which is probably why this setup we didn't have any audio dropouts. Again, everywhere I went, my microphone, it's an AKG wireless perception, worked great, no audio dropouts no matter where I worked. So it was a little frustrating that I did get some audio dropouts, and I have my transmitter up higher than I have the receiver for my wireless mic. So overall, I like the concept of the system, but where it lacks the most is trying to feed a speaker in an adjacent room where you have a wall in between you. Those are the most difficult cable runs, and those are the ones I would like to avoid. This system, I just don't have the complete confidence I need in it yet. Otherwise, if it's in the same room, I think it'll work just fine. If you are going to use this system, here's a trick that I learned. Start by placing the receiver on top of the speaker, turning it on. You'll see a little RF light that could light up. If you're receiving a green light before you even turn on your transmitter, that channel is going to give you problems. Flip around until you do not see the green RF light anymore. That will be your clean channel. Then match your transmitter up to the same channel. That'll save you a lot of back and forth between the transmitter and the receiver trying to find the cleanest channel.